Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Nelson again, and today I wanted to cover a bit of news that's popped up recently regarding Nintendo and the Nintendo Switch 2. One of which, it seems that Nintendo is partnering with some of Japan's biggest marketplaces to combat Switch 2 scalping, along with just Nintendo-related product scalping. And another, it seems like, this was bound to happen, but it seems like the Switch 2 is already out in the wild, and people have posted unboxing videos or have talked about the experience of booting the system up and trying to plug in a game to play. So before we get started, make sure to leave a like for this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you're new. Hit that bell for notifications to stay up to date with videos just like this as we approach this June 5th launch date coming out for the Switch 2. So let's get started. It seems like, this is based on an article from VGC, Nintendo's teamed up with 3 of Japan's major online marketplaces to fight Switch 2 scalping. In a press release posted on Nintendo's Japanese website, it seems that Nintendo's formed a partnership with Mercari, Yahoo Auction, and Rakuten Rakuma to prevent the unauthorized listing of products related to the Nintendo, including the Nintendo Switch 2, which, as we all know, is scheduled for release on June 5th next week. So according to the statement, Nintendo and these 3 marketplaces will take action against unauthorized Switch 2 listings, including proactive listing removal and the setup of a cooperative framework that will let each marketplace share information. And then in a separate statement on Yahoo Auction's own website, they said that they would consider the Switch 2 a prohibited item from launch until an undetermined future date. They also said that it considered the Switch 2 an item that may disrupt the trading environment, which it defines as anything that has high visibility, significant demand as high-priced resale items, and a high likelihood of causing disruptions, supporting, or price spikes. So they said that any Switch 2 listings made on their site during its prohibition period may be subject to measures such as listing removal by the company or other actions, including account suspension. So it seems like they're really cracking down on this, and this seems like a great effort considering that the demand for the console itself in Japan is extremely high. We have this quote from Furukawa, stated last year that Nintendo wanted to avoid Switch 2 scalping by making enough consoles to meet the demand, saying that the company's main plan was to make sure players didn't have to turn to resellers because they could just buy a console at retail. So yeah, we got to remember too that when they dropped that My Nintendo lottery in Japan, 2.2 million people applied for that lottery, and they had to say that a significant number of players weren't going to be able to nab a pre-order unit from Nintendo's own stock. So anything to help combat the scalping market that is inevitably going to try and find its way in when the Switch 2 launches next week, is a good move nonetheless. So I'm curious to see how this plan is going to work, how these marketplaces are going to be working with each other to prevent these listings and keep their marketplaces spared from insane amount of Switch 2 listings that might be coming out when this console releases or approaching that launch date. So yeah, with that bit of quick news out of the way, I just wanted to touch in on something that just came in, and it seems like the Nintendo Switch 2 is also already out in the wild in some users' hands, but they've hit a mandatory update that's not allowing them to play anything at this moment, which that might be something that Nintendo's put in place to, combat any early units getting out in the wild. They had to probably anticipate that. This is one of the most successful consoles that's been made, and, the demand for it is really high, and, they're trying to do their best to keep up with that demand. So, apparently also on VGC, Nintendo Switch 2 is officially in public hands, but early users have allegedly discovered they're unable to play the console before launch. It seems that today a YouTube user posted a short video of them opening a retail Nintendo Switch 2 unit, so not the Mario Kart World Bundle, just the retail unit. And based on that packaging, it was likely obtained early in the United Arab Emirates. According to the user, they are unable to actually play the Switch 2 console because it requires an update to function before the official June 5th release date, which might coincide with what Nintendo is doing. I think if I remember correctly, they're not allowing any reviews for the system to happen before that June 5th launch date. So I guess June 5th worldwide, they're going to be pushing out that update to all Switch 2 systems, which might mean you need an internet connection before you can even play the system. A little odd, but hopefully something too complicated or necessary in the future. I'm going to just spitball and just assume that later down in the line, any future units are going to have this update already pre-installed on the system, and so you wouldn't even need to do that. And then a second person allegedly said that they had been able to obtain a Switch early, sent proof to Wario64. And Wario64 said that I have no permission to post pics, but can share that when they try to boot a Switch 1 game, a message prompts, please connect to the internet and update your system. So it seems like Nintendo's putting this software block for any early units getting out in the wild for anyone trying to play. Pretty interesting. I'm not going to watch this video. I really want to make sure that the experience for me is untainted, if you will. I want to be able to go in there with fresh eyes and, see everything for the very first time. So yeah, I just wanted to drop this information out for you guys in case you were wondering or you're interested or you're just looking for anything Nintendo Switch 2 related or Nintendo related, as we're approaching a big date on June 5th next week. I mean, less than 10 days. It's insane to me. We're just around the corner. So again, if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave it a like. It helps out a ton, and subscribe if you're new. Hit that bell for notifications to keep up to date with all of this Nintendo stuff coming out. I'll be sure to be on top of this as best as I can. And yeah, until then, be safe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.